Welcome back, explorers of forbidden patterns. You're watching Forbidden Files, where symbols speak louder than history. Let me ask you this. What do galaxies, ancient stones, DNA, hurricanes, and crop circles all have in common? A spiral. Not just a shape. A pattern. A code. And maybe a key. From the petroglyphs of New Mexico to the stone temples of Göbekli Tepe, from Viking runes to Maori tattoo, the endless spiral appears again and again, across oceans, across cultures, across time, always turning, always inward, or is it outward? The direction depends on where you stand. But some researchers believe it was never meant to be decorative. It was never just art. It was a map, a warning, or worse, an invitation. In 1997, archaeologists exploring a collapsed temple in central Peru uncovered a chamber sealed with melted stone, as if it had been closed by heat. Inside was a circular altar, carved with 3 spirals, interlocked in the shape of an infinite flow. In the center, a shallow basin with magnetic residue unlike anything else in the region. A shaman who accompanied the dig simply said, "That is not for humans." But the mystery doesn't end there. Ancient Sumerian tablets describe a sky wheel used by gods to travel between realms. The Hopis speak of the Sipapua spiral doorway between worlds. In Hindu myth, Vishnu's navel contains the entire universe in a spiral form. And in quantum physics, wormholes are often modeled as rotating spirals in spacetime. So what is it? Just a coincidence? Or is the spiral something encoded into the universe itself? A kind of natural geometry that, when drawn or activated in the right place, opens something. In 2013, a team from CERN released a simulation suggesting spiral-shaped particle collisions might allow for brief folds in dimensional fabric. Localized gateway geometries. They didn't call it a portal. But what else folds space and time without breaking it? And why are so many spiral symbols buried deep in caves, places that amplify sound, alter magnetic fields, and induce altered states of consciousness? Could the ancients have known how to access something we're only rediscovering? Not a myth. Not a metaphor, a machine, one that doesn't look like metal or wires, but like a pattern carved in stone. And it's everywhere. There's a symbol in the Nazca lines. A spiral, more than 300 feet wide, etched into the earth, visible only from the sky. But why a spiral? Why not a star, a god, a name? Unless it wasn't meant to be seen. It was meant to align. Researchers using LiDAR in the Andes discovered several spiral-shaped arrangements of standing stones, each aligned with astronomical events, solstices, eclipses, and the path of Sirius. But here's the strange part. When mapped 3-dimensionally, these structures don't just point to the sky. They curve inward, downward, as if marking something beneath. In 2018, an independent physicist named Dr. Ren Ito from Tokyo published an obscure paper suggesting that torus-shaped spiral fields could theoretically punch through dimensional barriers. But only under 3 conditions. The spiral must be electromagnetically resonant. It must be located at a point of geomagnetic flux. It must be primed with intent or synchronized consciousness. He called it conscious resonance tunneling. And he wasn't alone. Declassified CIA documents from the 1980s describe Project Gateway, an experiment in using sound frequencies in meditation to induce interdimensional experiences. Within the report was a diagram labeled Model of Access, a spiral drawn over the human brain. The deeper into the spiral you go, the more dimensions collapse. And at the center, transdimensional interface. Contact possible. Now imagine this. What if every spiral carved into stone was more than symbolic? What if it was an activation site, a pattern to focus awareness, energy, and location into one cosmic dial? In 2001, a man hiking near Lake Toba in Indonesia found a spiral carved into obsidian. It pulsed when he touched it. He thought it was metal, but it was volcanic glass, naturally magnetized. He blacked out for 18 hours. When he came to, his watch had stopped, but only on his wrist. No answers. No answers. But ever since, he claims to dream in symbols. Spirals inside spirals, spinning faster each time. And across every culture, when someone describes a divine journey, a near-death experience, or being taken, they speak of the same thing. Falling into a tunnel of light. Spinning, turning, then silence. What if those weren't dreams? What if they brushed against something real? Something ancient? Something waiting? A gate we were never supposed to turn. They say time is a straight line. But the spiral doesn't agree. In dreams, in near-death visions, in the ramblings of mystics and quantum physicists alike, the same shape returns. Not a door, not a tunnel, a spiral, spinning inward, then vanishing. Some say the spiral leads to higher consciousness. Others say it leads to somewhere else entirely. But what happens when someone goes through? In 1996, a radio observatory in Kazakhstan picked up a repeating pulse from a magnetic anomaly deep in the Caspian Depression. Every 12 hours, the frequency spiraled upward, then reset. No natural source matched it. It was dismissed, forgotten, until 2003, when a spelunking team disappeared exploring a cave system beneath the same anomaly. When they were found, days later, only one survived. Naked, silent, curled into a spiral. He wouldn't speak for weeks. When he finally did, he said only this: "We didn't go down. We went in." Across history, there are whispers of those who vanished near sacred spiral sites. A Mayan priestess swallowed by a stone circle during eclipse, a Celtic warrior who walked into a spiral mound and never returned. A Russian astronaut who described coiling light just before contact was lost. They weren't lost. They were taken. Or worse, they crossed and came back, changed. In declassified Soviet footage from 1972, a scientist at an underground lab in the Urals draws spirals on every surface of his room, floor, walls, ceiling, using his own blood. When questioned, he whispers, "It watches from inside. The spiral is its eye. Who or what is it?" Some believe the spiral is a signature left by an older intelligence, not extraterrestrial, but something that does not move through space like we do. Something that twists its way into our world. It doesn't build ships. It builds gates. Through art, through sound, through stone. And once opened, it learns, mimics, spreads. You thought the spiral was just a symbol. What if it's a seed, planted across cultures to grow connection points? Until one of us unlocks it. Until someone or some machine dials it just right. And when that happens, the spiral won't take you somewhere. It will bring somewhere to you. Because the spiral never ends. It only tightens. And once you're inside it, you never come out the same.